Are you ready? Okay, let's go on the record. This is State of Florida versus Laquan Barrow, Michael Smith, and Gary King. The case number is 2015 CF 2902. Counsel, please identify yourselves for the record.
Report Jennifer Kipke on behalf of the state of Florida.
Mike Gorley on behalf of Laquan Barrow.
Frank Bankowitz on behalf of Mr. King.
Candace Halter on behalf of Mr. Smith.
All right. Is there anything that we need to address?
Three things I wanted to address with the court.
Mhm.
The first one is something that I've spoken with counsel about. Third witness for having testified, or he'll be the third civilian witness today. He has received protective services from the state of Florida pursuant to 914.25. I advised the defense about this. The sheriff's office has paid money on his behalf to relocate, and that FDLE has reimbursed the sheriff's office. I was informed the amounts were $5,410.92 paid by the sheriff's office, for which they've been reimbursed $4,135.92 by FDLE. When I spoke with defense counsel about that at depositions last week, we discussed it in the context of cross-examination of this witness about that benefit may open the door for why he received the benefit. I think they're all aware of the allegations, but I place them briefly on the record. He was out of town. While he was out of town, masked men entered his home and tied his children up with zip ties, looking for him, which is why it happened. I think in our discussions all agreed that cross-examining him may well open the door, about the receipt of money, may well open the door to why. And I think they've all agreed that they're not going to do that. And I've told him at this point, don't mention it unless you get, like, clearest signal in the world possible, and are told explicitly you can.
All right.
Judge, I have no intention of exploring that area whatsoever.
Me either, Judge.
I don't have any intention. We'll stay far away from it because it does really, in my opinion, has nothing to do with this case.
Well, but if he's asked about receiving a benefit, then, I mean, you're on the way in the door, so I'd leave that alone.
There's nothing in the evidence from the time of the incident that there was any funds paid to him as a witness in this case. Those funds were paid to him in
After.
a totally different event that
Right.
occurred, I believe, more than a year after this incident, and it's not related.
The second thing, Your Honor, is in light of how the testimonies come out, the state wishes to call the witness we did not name in front of the jury. His name is Jeffrey Hall. He was a police officer with the police department. We wanted to call him for the limited purpose of authenticating a 4-minute and 15-second piece of body camera footage and having that be it.
He's in the discovery.
Yes, he's in the back.
All right. Any objection?
I don't object to him, Judge.
No, sir.
I don't object, I'm just curious as to why his name wasn't mentioned, but
Well,
that can be.
obviously, he didn't plan to call him, but things happen, so.
And also, so that everyone's aware, Mr. Hall is on probation for possession of tetrahydrocannabinol. It's a felony of the 3rd degree. It's an active ingredient to marijuana.
Okay.
I was going to ask him whether he was on probation, because that's appropriate,
Mhm.
the offense for which he was on probation, and if he was required as a condition of his plea to surrender his law enforcement certificate, and leave it at that.
Okay.
I was not going to, there was some allegations that that incident, which happened far removed in time from this one, happened while he was on duty. I don't believe that it would be appropriate to inquire as to whether he was using marijuana on this night, because I don't believe there's any evidence that he in fact was.
All right. Any comment, argument?
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
Judge.
And then we've agreed for Wayne Counsel, he has 6 prior felony convictions for impeachment.
4
Okay.
and 2, or 2 and 4 prior.
No, 6 prior felonies.
I have 6 prior felonies. That's
Correct.
changed.
I'll double check,
What you gave me was 2 felonies, 4 crimes of dishonesty.
oh, I'm thinking of Mr. Kendrick, I'm sorry, 2 felonies for dishonesty.
Okay.
I'll go with 6 if he wants to, Judge.
I've also provided them with, I think this is probably an agreed upon number for their witnesses next next week because Mr. Hill.
Yes, I received that, thank you. Yes. 9.
Okay.
No, we're not going to because.
Anything from the defense side?
Judge, I brought clothes for Mr. Collins for Monday,
Okay,
so
that's fine.
they have that set aside for him.
We'll get that taken care of. I think the plan is to give all of your clients' clothes back today to be laundered or whatever, unless you already have brought a set for next week, so. But I think that's the plan, so don't go rushing out as soon as we recess. They're gonna wanna bring clothes back to you, so. They ready? Okay. All right, you got like 2 minutes. If you need to use the restroom, do anything, then we're gonna bring them back out.
Can I go let Mr. Hall know what I believe will be the extent of cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
Julie's here. I just ordered.
Okay,
I made lunch reservation for 11:30 today,
okay,
so if we run that late.
all right. All right, are we ready to bring the juries back in?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's return the juries, please. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you had a pleasant evening. Anyone have any difficulty with anyone attempting to speak with them about the case? Very good. Anyone see, hear, or read anything about the case? No, sir. Very good. All right, call your next witness.
We will call Jeffrey Hall.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Have a seat. Mr. McCourt?
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Will you state your name for the record, and also introduce yourself to the jury?
Jeffrey Hall, formerly with the Ocala Police Department.
Mr. Hall, when did you leave the Ocala Police Department?
In March of 2016?
In July of 2016, are you currently on probation?
Yes, sir, I am.
Is that for the offense of possession of tetrahydrocannabinol?
Yes, sir.
What is tetrahydrocannabinol?
It's the component main ingredient in marijuana.
Are you currently serving your term of probation?
Yes, sir.
What is your current term of probation?
3 years.
Were you required as a condition of your plea to that offense to surrender your law enforcement certificate?
Yes, sir.
Back in on September 13, 2015, were you employed by the Ocala Police Department?
Yes, I was.
In what capacity did you serve?
I was a police officer.
Did you have a particular assignment as a police officer?
At that time, I was on the Directed Patrol Unit, which was like our street crime unit, targeting mainly street crimes and specific enforcement at the time.
Now, on that night, were you assigned to work with Joshua Freed, David Rodriguez, Michelle Green?
Yes, sir.
Did you participate in the traffic stop of a vehicle near Murphy's Oyster Bar?
Yes, sir.
Shortly before 1:30 p.m. or a.m.?
Yep, right on the north side of Murphy's.
During that traffic stop, did you hear gunfire?
Yes, sir.
What were you about to do when you first heard the gunfire?
At the time, we were about to begin searching the vehicle in which we conducted a traffic stop on. A K-9 had walked around and alerted on the vehicle, and we were about to begin a search of the vehicle.
Did that search ever take place?
No, it did not.
What did you do after you heard the gunfire?
As soon as we heard the gunfire, we all immediately ran toward Cloud9 at the time.
Were you the first officer to arrive in front of the club?
Yes, sir.
May the record reflect I've shown the defense was marked as State's Exhibit WWW. Please take a look at State's Exhibit WWW. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It is a disc containing the video previously watched today of my body camera footage.
And now the body camera begins recording actually before the video starts, is that correct?
Correct.
And it continues running after the video stops, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The video begins about how long before you hear gunfire?
Within a few seconds, 10, 15 seconds or so.
Okay. And at what point what's going on when the video ends?
When the video ends, there was a gunshot victim being taken to a vehicle that was trying to take her to the hospital.
Does this DVD or CD contain a fair and accurate depiction of what your body camera captured between those two times?
Yes, sir, it did.
This time the state would move State's Exhibit WWW into evidence as State's Exhibit
63. Any objection?
No, sir.
No, sir.
All right, State's Exhibit WWW for identification will be received in evidence as State's Exhibit 63. You may. Is there?
All right. Okay. No, he didn't do it. Okay, the canine did alert to the vehicle, okay? The canine alerts to the vehicle, gives up the long. Shots fired, cloud 9, several shots. What's the Hey, we got one victim here. We got several victims down. There's a car left at a high rate of speed. White Mitsubishi. You all right? Sit down. Sit down on the ground. Sit down on the ground. Sit on the ground. Hey, sit down. Who saw what? We got like 5, 6 victims right now. Damn, I need you to back up. Back up. I need you to back up. Hey,
just where it was, Deputy. Thank you. Can I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I have nothing further.
Cross-examination, Mr. Gorley?
No questions, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
Nothing.
Is the officer excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can go about your business. Thank you. Call your next witness.
State call Frank Scala.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Have a seat.
Thanks.
Mr. McCoy?
Good morning, Detective.
Morning, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
You've introduced yourself to the juries previously.
Frank Scala.
Detective Scala, on September 13th, 2015, did Wayne Counsel come from the Cloud9 nightclub to the Marion County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir, he did.
Did he come immediately after?
One of the first people I spoke to.
Did you have occasion to administer photographic lineups to him?
Yes, sir.
I want to show you first what's been marked as State's Exhibit 000. In this envelope here, you can go ahead and take that out and tell me whether you recognize it. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is it?
This is the photo admonition form, and this is the photo array that I showed Mr. Counsel.
Okay. And who is depicted in this photo array?
This is in slot number 5, it's Gary King.
When you showed this photo array to Mr. Counsel, did he select Mr. King as somebody he could identify?
Yes.
And what did he describe him as having done on the night of the morning hours, September 13th, 2015?
He put that he was with the shooter, which he ID'd as Laquan Barrow.
Okay. And does this lineup of featuring Mr. King appear to be in the same or substantially similar condition when you place it into evidence?
Yes, sir.
At this time, the state will move State's Exhibit 000 into evidence as State's Exhibit 65.
Any objection?
No, sir.
No
No, sir.
objection.
All right. State's Exhibit 000 for identification will be received in evidence as State's Exhibit 64.
Detective Scala, I'm now going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit PPP. Can you take a look at that and tell me if you recognize it?
Yes, sir.
What do you recognize that as being?
This is the photo admonition form and the photo array that I showed to Mr. Counsel.
Did he select and identify anybody in that photo array?
Yes, sir, he did, in slot number 4, Laquan Barrow,
And what did he identify Mr. Barrow as having done?
as doing the shooting.
This time, the state will move State's Exhibit PPP into evidence as State's Exhibit 65.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
No, sir.
No objection.
State's Exhibit PPP for identification will be received in evidence as State's Exhibit 65.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Scala, in addition to conducting the photo array, you conducted an interview with Mr. Counsel that same day, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you would agree with me, would you not, that in that interview, he indicated to you that Dee Dee meaning Danielle Kendrick, had pepper sprayed him, correct?
Yes, sir, he did.
And not only did he advise that, but at some point he was trying to recall the name of Maisha, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And he indicated to you that as a result of the pepper spray, he was having a hard time memorizing that, correct?
Something to that effect, I believe, yeah.
Would you like to see exactly what he said to help?
Yes, you have.
Starting at line 5. Detective Scala, if you could, read from beginning on line 5, ending with line 11.
Okay, I want to say that girl's name was Maisha because if I remember correctly, she hit me because she said that was her brother that I had grabbed. I was just so much, it was just so much shit going on. I tell them, my God, I know, and it's hard to it's hard to memorize shit, especially when I done been pepper sprayed and shit.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
In addition, throughout the interview, Mr. Counsel referred to Nate Kendrick as a nickname, correct?
Yes,
Called him Munch, correct?
yes, sir.
Okay, call him Munch, then Nate, sometimes Munch, sometimes Nate,
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
Now, when you conducted the photo array of my client, Mr. Counsel, when he identified him, he indicated that he told you that he was pretty sure that's him, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Would you like to see your report? Are you,
I don't know the exact wording he said as far as he believed, or I know he picked him out.
okay, hold on
Yeah.
one second. Let me show that to you. This would be page 2. Mr. Counsel, if you could read to the jury that. Or from there. It's page 2, the very end of it, the last, or the
Are
first
you
sentence
talking about this one right here?
of the arrest report.
We have a, if I could, have a transcript of it.
This is not the interview.
He's showing him his report.
If you could just read the,
This-
after looking at the array, that sentence.
Af-
Sustained.
Okay. Would you look at the report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you see what's in quotation marks?
Yep.
Could you tell the jury what's in quotation marks?
Sustained.
In that regard,
Objects to refresh his recollection.
I understand. In that regard, Detective Scala, you would agree with me, would you not, that when he was identified in the photo array, Mr. Counsel said he was pretty sure that's him?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Bankowitz?
Thank you, Judge. Detective Scala, with regard to the photo array of Gary King, or with Gary King in it, Mr. Counsel advised you that he was just with Mr. Barrow, correct?
Yes, sir.
He didn't say he was a shooter or he had a gun, and specifically, did he ever tell you he did not have a gun?
No.
Okay. But he was not a shooter.
Right.
And did he ever tell you that Mr. King was acting kind of like a peacemaker, trying to keep Barrow away from other people?
Object, this is improper impeachment and calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
That's all I have, Judge.
Ms. Hawthorne?
Did he ever say anything about Mr.
Objection, hearsay, improper impeachment.
Did you provide any photographs to Mr. Counsel of my client?
No, ma'am.
Were you ever instructed to ask Mr. Counsel about my client?
No, not at that time.
Did you at any other time?
No.
Did you ever talk to Mr. Counsel about my client?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Detective Scala, when Mr. Counsel made the statement, "I'm pretty sure that's him," do you remember what he said as he continued?
That's the man or something that I put my arms on, or I put my hands on.
Remember what he said after that?
What's that?
Remember what he said immediately after that?
No, sir.
Would it help you to look at a transcript to refresh your memory? You've had a chance before today to listen to Mr. Counsel's interview again? You had a chance, you've been able to listen to Mr. Counsel's interview before today.
I haven't, I've looked at the report, yes.
Would it help you to look at a transcript though to refresh your memory?
Yes, sir.
Counsel, page 24, line 7. Detective Scala, I'd like you to read to yourself, beginning line 7, read through line 9.
Yes, sir.
After Mr. Counsel said, I'm pretty sure that's him, what does he say?
He says that if it's not him, it damn sure looks like him.
Did he tell you that was who he's seen tonight?
Yes.
No further questions?
Mr. Gorley, anything else?
You continued in that interview, and he indicated that he was not 100% sure, correct?
Page 9, Counsel.
I'm asking if you can remember. Before we go to page line, do you remember making a statement that he was not 100% sure?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Bankowitz,
No further questions, Judge.
No questions.
anything else, Mr. McCourt?
I believe so, Your Honor. If I can have a moment. Detective Scala, after you asked him about Mr. Barrow, you made a statement that looks like him. When he discussed who he was not 100% sure somebody was, could he have been referring to Gary King?
That's possible, yes.
Objection, Your Honor, speculation.
Sustained.
Would it help you refresh your recollection as to what Mr. Counsel said and about whom he was referring with the 100% comment?
Yes, sir.
Copy of the transcript. Page 24, beginning at line 22. I'd like you to go ahead, Detective Scala, read those couple of lines there that follow. That's who I've seen tonight.
To
You
yourself.
said line 20.
To yourself. Was there a discussion that immediately followed that about whether he was 100% sure Gary King was his cousin?
Right.
Mr. Gorley,
No questions, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Judge.
No question.
witness excused.
Just asking for me on that.
All right, you can step down. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached a good point for our mid-morning break. Please hold your pads up, leave them on your chairs. So it'll be about 15 or 20 minutes. Jurors are out of the courtroom. We'll be in recess for approximately 15 minutes.
Proper predicate be laid for impeachment. Just asking what he said before.
If you object, I'll rule on your objection. So return the juries, please.